वॉट इज़ द नेम ऑफ लिमिट गेज? ये जो गेज है ये है आपका प्रोग्रेसिव प्लग गेज, क्योंकि इसके दोनों सिरे एक ही साइड के ऊपर दिए हुए हैं। वॉट इज़ द नेम ऑफ गेज? रिंग गेज। वॉट इज़ द नेम ऑफ गेज? एडजस्टेबल स्नैप गेज। वॉट इज़ द नेम ऑफ गेज? रेडियस गेज, क्योंकि आप देखेंगे तो यहाँ पे रेडियस बना हुआ है। विच डिवाइस इज यूज टू चेक द वर्क पीस टू confirm the shape? Profile gauge. Which device is used to check the workpiece? Which device is used to check the workpiece to confirm the shape? Profile gauge. What is the name of gauge? Standard wire gauge. Which gauge is used to check the outside diameter? Plain ring gauge. What is the name of gauge? Tapered ring gauge. What is the name of gauge? Threaded ring gauge. What is the name of gauge? Snap gauge. Which material is used to clean the slip gauge? Carbon tetrachloride. What is the name of instrument used for measuring the external diameter? Pair of special jaws using with the slip gauge. How many set of filler gauge are available? 4 sets. Which protective coat is applied on the surface of the slip gauge against the rust? Petroleum jelly. Which protective coat is applied on the surface of a slip gauge against the rust? Petroleum jelly. Which material is used to make a slip gauge blocks? High grade steel. Which is the method of locking the number of bolts with the help of the soft steel wire? Insert and twist wire locking. How self-locking is achieved in a Simmons nuts? By using nylon insert. What is the name of nut? Hexagonal nut with collar. Which gauge is used to check the gap between the mating parts? Filler gauge. Which gauge is used to check the accuracy of an external thread? Threaded ring gauge. Which gauge is used to check the accuracy of external threads? Thread ring gauge. What is the purpose of filler gauge? Check the gap between the mating parts. What is the act of joining the slip gauge together by building up size? Ringing. Which gauge is used? Which grade slip gauge is used for precision tool room for applications? Grade 1. What is the purpose of taper plug gauge? Check tapered hole and with a perfect fit. What is the thickness range of BIS set of filler gauge? 0.02 to 1 mm. What is the thickness range of BIS set of filler gauge? 0.02 mm to 1 mm. What is the calibration grade of slip gauge? Grade 0. Grade 0 calibration grade, grade 00 reference gauge, grade 1 inspection gauge, grade 2 workshop gauge. What is the purpose of nylon strip provided in the self-locking nut? To give a positive grip. Which type of nut is used where frequent adjustable in required? Nulled nut. What type of nut are used to coach building work? Square nut. What is the purpose of T-nuts used on the machine tools? To fix work holding device. Which nut provide additional bearing surface in the assembly? Hexagonal nut with collar. What is the purpose of three projection provided on the hexagonal nuts wide nut, hexagonal weld nut? To provide uniform contact on the surface where the wing nuts are used, frequently adjustable and removable. Which locking device is used along with the bolt in assembly? Nuts. Which nut both the face are machined and placed below the nut of the assembly? Lock nut. Which nut provides positive locking while tightening? Swan nut. Which locking nut, nylon and fiber ring inserted placed in the upper part of the nut? Self-locking nut. Which locking device is used to prevent the hexagonal nut from losing? Locking plate. Which locking device is used to preventing the hexagonal nut for losing? Locking plate. Which washer is used for locking the nuts that are located near an angle, edge and corner? Tab washer. Which washer offers a stiff resistance against the surface of the nut and for losing? Spring washer. Which device is used for disturbing the clamping pressure over a large area and prevent the surface from damaging? Washer. Which device is used for providing an increased bearing surface for bolt head and nut? Washer. Which washer is used with a flat and oval type head screw? Countersunk type. Find out the height of a slip gauge of sin 25 equals to 0.4226. तो इसमें sin 25 equals to BC upon AB. तो जो आंसर आएगा वो आएगा 84.52 mm. What is the material of screw pitch gauge blades? Spring steel. What is the material of screw pitch gauge blades? Spring steel. Which of the following is used to measure a size of a wire and the thickness? Standard wire gauge. What is the height of slip gauge? Those the angle of 30. The sine bar length is 20 mm. Same ऊपर के जैसा करना है 100 mm. Why the nylon ring or the fiber inserted in the internal grooves cut on self-locking nut to serve the locking device? Why slots are provided in the slotted and castle nut? To fix the split pin. How the normal length of a split pin calculate? Under the underside of the eyes and the end of the short leg. How the normal length of the split pin calculate? Underside of the eyes to the end of the short leg. Where not go and no go end are provided in the one end of the progressive plug gauge to check the component of hole quickly.